A very good afternoon, children. I hope you all are fine and healthy. So today we are going to learn lesson 12, transitive and intransitive verbs. I'll give you the definition of transitive and intransitive verbs in very short, like the verb which requires an object to complete the meaning of the sentence is called transitive verb. Verbs with objects are called transitive verbs. Now what are intransitive verbs? Verbs which do not require, which do not need an object to complete the meaning is called intransitive verbs. I'll read the definitions for you, okay? Now you see. A verb that requires an object to complete its action is a transitive verb. Means in this verb, if there is no object, the meaning will be incomplete. You will not get the meaning. Okay. Then a verb that does not require an object to complete its action is an intransitive verb. Means a verb which does not require an object to complete its meaning is called intransitive. Now there is one more kind of verb. It's called ergative. Ergative. Now what is the definition? When the action of the verb affects the subject itself, then the verb is said to be ergative. Means when the action of the verb is passing on the subject is called ergative. Okay, like she hurt herself. Who has been hurt? She has been hurt. Okay, so it's called ergative. When the action is taking place on the subject, it is called ergative. Let me narrate you once again. Verbs which have objects to make the meaning complete is called transitive verb. Verbs which does not require an object or which does not have an object to complete the meaning is called intransitive. The word is ergative. When the action takes place on the subject itself is called ergative. Now what is the subject? We have already learned. Basically, a sentence is divided into two parts: subject and predicate. Okay, remember this. Subject and predicate. What is the subject? The person or the thing about which we are talking or about which we are referring to is called subject, or who is doing the action is called subject. So what the subject is doing is called predicate. Basically two parts. A sentence cannot be complete without a subject. A sentence must have a subject, verb and predicate. If any one of these are missing, then it becomes a phrase. Now what is the definition of sentence? A sentence is complete when there is a subject, verb and object. A group of words which has the subject, verb, object and gives us complete meaning, complete sense is called subject. Now what is a phrase? A phrase is a group of words which does not give us complete meaning. A sentence is a group of words which gives us complete meaning. A phrase is a group of words which does not give us complete meaning. Now what is a clause? A clause is a combination of different sentences. When different sentences are joined together to make a longer sentence is called a clause. Okay. So you have learned about sentence, phrase and clause. So transitive, a verb which has an object. I am telling you the answer in a very short form so that it will be easy for you to learn, to remember. A verb which has an object is called transitive. When there is object, it is transitive. A verb which does not have that object is called intransitive. When there is no verb, it's called intransitive. The word is ergative when the verb or when the action of the verb is reflected on the subject itself is called ergative. Okay, this much. Now let's see. Some more examples have been given there in the book. I'll give a few examples. Like in page number 61, what you have to do, point out the transitive verbs and objects in the following sentences. Where the verb is intransitive, simply mention intransitive. You have learned what is the subject. Okay, about whom or about what we are talking is called subject. Then you have to write whether it is transitive or intransitive. Now how to find transitive or intransitive? You find the objects. If there is an object in the sentence, it is transitive. If there is no object in the sentence, it is called intransitive. Let us see. She rang the bell. You have to find out the verb first. What did she do? Rang. Rang is the bell. What did she rang? Bell. Rang is the verb. Okay? And what is she ring? Bell. Means verb and bell is the object. It is transitive. Number 2. 12 children raise their hands. We are talking about 12 children. Okay? We are talking about 12 children. And what did they do? They raised. Raised. What did they raise? Their hands. So raise is the verb. Hands is the object. So it is transitive. Number 4. How many guests are coming? Guest is the subject. Okay? Guest is the subject. Coming is the verb, but there is no object. No object means intransitive. Number 4. The door opened suddenly. The door is the subject. Opened is the verb, but suddenly is not an object. So it is intransitive. Number 5. He goes to school by bus. He is the subject. Goes is the verb. And where does he go? To school. School is the object. So it is transitive. Likewise you do from 1 to 10. Okay. Then you come to the next space. Next space. Read what is written there. A verb that requires an object to complete the action is called transitive verb. That I have already given you. Now, there are many verbs in English which can be both transitive and intransitive. That is important. Let's see. The child ate hungrily. Ate is the verb. Okay. But object is not there. So it is intransitive. The child ate a hamburger. Ate is the verb. And what did the child eat? Hamburger. Object. So it is transitive. She moved aimlessly through the crowd. Moved is the verb, but object is not there. So intransitive. Next one. She moved the furniture all over the house. Moved is the verb. And what did she move? What is the object? Furniture. Furniture is object, so it is transitive. He left without saying goodbye. Left is the verb, but there is no object, so it is intransitive. Next. The accident left a permanent scar. Left is the verb, and what has been left? A permanent scar. That is the object, so it is transitive. Now let's see exercise B, page number 62. In the sentences given below, say whether the italicized verbs are transitive or intransitive. If the verb is transitive, then mention the object. So first I'll give you one formula. If you want to find out whether the verb is transitive or not, you find out the verb first, and after the verb the object is there or not, that you see. If the verb has an object, it is transitive. If the verb doesn't have an object, it is intransitive. Okay, let's see. I'll give you a few examples. I posted the letter on my way to work. Posted is the verb. And what has been posted? What is the object? Letter. So it is transitive. Number 2. His father woken up. Woken up is the verb, but after the verb there is no object, so it is intransitive. Remember, when there is object it is transitive, when there is no object it is intransitive. Number 3, they left before the match began. Left is the verb, but after the verb left, object is not there, so it is intransitive. Number 4, the mother bought an ice cream for the child. Bought is the verb, and what did she buy? Ice cream. Ice cream is the object, so it is a verb with an object, so it is transitive. Number 5, she received my email. Received is the verb. What did she receive? My email. So my email is the object. Received is the verb. Email is the object. So when object is there, it is transitive. Okay. Likewise, you do the other exercises. And let's next come to the part verbs of incomplete prediction. Let me read. Okay. We have seen so far that transitive verbs do not require an object to convey the meaning. But there are many intransitive verbs that do not need the help of other words to communicate the meaning. Look at the sentences given below. Now there are some verbs which does not require any object. But there are some verbs which require objects to convey the meaning. Let's see. She looked confused. Looked is the verb. Okay. Look is the verb. But there is no object, but the meaning is complete. She looked confused. How did she look? She looked confused. See, there is no object. Okay. I feel unwell. Feel is the verb. They are very strong. They are. Are is the verb. Now, none of the verbs in these sentences has any object. But the words that follow the verbs cannot be left out. They are necessary for the verbs to convey their meaning. Means after the verbs, some words have been given, and these words are not objects, but these words are very necessary to complete the meaning. Like she looked confused. Looked is the verb. After looked, the word confused has been added. If you don't add the word confused, the meaning will not be clear. Okay, likewise, exercise. Okay, before the exercise, let's see. These words which are not objects but are necessary for the verbs to convey their meaning are called the complement of the verb. Means they complement, they help, they attach to the verbs. In the examples given below, these complements tell us something about the subject. Hence, they are referred to as subject complement of the verb. Let's see. In each of the sentences given below, underline the subject complement of the verb. One has been done. Okay, let's see. My younger brother resembles the grandmother. Subject complement is attached with the subject. They tell you something more about the subject. Okay. So, my younger brother resembles our grandmother. Means we are talking my younger brother. We're talking about my younger brother who looks like our grandmother. So, our grandmother is the subject complement. Next, there were at least 10,000 people. There were, we are talking about 10,000 people. The soup tastes strange. We are talking about the soup which tastes strange. So, strange is the subject complement. Why does he look so worried? We are talking about somebody who is looking worried. So worried is the subject complement. Next, there is a renovation of the house cost a fortune. We are talking about the renovation which cost a fortune. Fortune is the thing. Then the sounds totally confused. Confused. Now, what is object complement? Some definition has been given. Just as transitive verbs can have subjective complement, transitive verbs with objects can also have complements. These complements tell us something important about the object of the verb and are hence called object complement. Just now we did subject complement. Subject complements means some words are added to tell more about the subject. Same way, object complements, some more words are added with the object. Okay, to give them a more meaning, it's called object complement. Let's see. His brother called him a genius. I wished her good luck. Both the verbs in these complement examples are transitive and have objects. Like call him what? Genius. Wished him what? Good luck. However, these objects are not enough for the words to convey the meaning. The words require the help of additional words, the object complement. In the first sentence, the verb called takes him as the direct object. However, the words a genius are necessary for us to know that his brother called him. In the second sentence, the verb wish takes her as a direct object, but the words good luck tells us when I wished her. In the sentences given below, identify the object and underline the objective complement. I'll give you a few examples. You have to identify the object, okay? And after that, you write the object complement. Let's see. One example, the doctor pronounced him unfit. Unfit is the object. Who is unfit? Him is unfit. Now we unanimously elected for chairperson. Chairperson is the object. Who is the chairperson? Her. Number 3. I reached home and found my dog sick. Found what? Dog. We are talking about the dog. Whose dog? My dog. They put me in charge of the project. Project is the object. Who is in charge? Me. Number 5. She was voted the most talented singer. Most talented singer is the object. And who has been voted? She. Okay. Next. Page number 65. Exercise is there. Identify the subject, verb, direct object and indirect object. Verb, you know about whom or what we are talking. Then subject. Subject, you know about whom or what we are talking. Subject. Verb is action word. And direct object. What is direct object? When you are talking directly about an object, it's called direct object. But when the object passes on to somebody or someone, it's called indirect object. Object is direct always. The thing or the article about which we are talking is called object, direct object. Okay. And the receiver is called indirect object. I'll give the example, like he promised them an outing. He is the subject, promise is the verb, them is the indirect object, outing is the direct object. Number 2. She told her children the happy news. She is the subject, told is the verb, children is indirect object, happy news is direct object. Likewise you do. Okay. So the examples are over. Now I want you all to do this exercise. Page 61, you'll do exercise A. Page 62, do exercise B. Only exercise B. C don't do. Page number 63, do exercise D. Page 64, do exercise E. Page 65, do exercise F. Okay children, only this much for today. See you next time.